Okay, does it work? Alright, I'll just hope it does. Okay, it does. Alright. So I'll just quickly change my audio and we are ready to start. Alright, hello everyone. No one, anyone, myself. So I've been thinking about doing a little tutorial about external node packs for Houdini because it's kind of cool for me. I mean, I love external node packs and like if I can get more nodes, then I will get more nodes. So and yeah, I wanted to show you why can that be useful. I have my project already saved, so let's get right onto it. So what I mean by external node packs are like packs of nodes that don't come with Houdini. Okay. By default. Something's wrong with the stream, but I'll just record it and post it later. So they don't come with Houdini by default, but you can easily get them either from GitHub or actually the first pack that we have is Side Effects Labs, and you can see there is a GitHub link in there, and we have some Side Effects Labs packs, and Side Effects Lab is really this standard for just new packs. You have some nodes even here in object context. You can see you have some labs, load hierarchy, camera rig, render geometry. What is this render geometry? Huh. So it's like, okay, this is some mantra rendering. What's it called? Stuff. All right. And I'd also like to see these pyro presets. Although I don't think I'll be doing any pyro, but maybe, maybe some. Boom. So I have an object level node that is actually a whole pyrosim all by itself with sourcing and everything. So if anything, then it's probably good for learning. And we have 1 meter wide high. Boom. Okay, let's not bother with pyro for now. So what I wanted to do for this tutorial, for this stream, would be a effect of a lightning hitting a ground for starters. So I'll actually start with ground. So I'll do geometry node, call it ground solid, because there will be another ground, okay. And here I'll do grid, but like if this is about external notepacks, then I can tell you that I oftentimes use this AE softbox, quick softbox. This is a very handy node when you just need to make a background. It gives you UV, this kind of shape. You can make it bigger, smaller, wider, enable front, back, top, whichever piece of it you need. And you can even make it face a camera, so I haven't used that at all, but seems interesting. And yeah, you can move it. You just, all you need to do is connect a null here and you have a ready background ready for render. But this is not for today. Right now I will just make a grid. Default one will be good for now. I'll make it show all objects or ghost all objects, and then do geometry, and let's call it lightning. And I'll start with a line. Okay. Say this is length of 10 and points of 46. And that's a line like this one. Looks pretty okay. And then we have this labs node called lightning. Labs lightning. And this is an external labs node, so it's super cool because it creates this lightning geometry, but there are some things that we need to adjust. This start point and end point is something that we surely need to change, because right now it's making it from point 0 to point 7, which is not ideal. I wonder why this one looks like this, but yeah, whatever. 2046 should be the last one, right? Nope. Point numbers. .45, yeah, obviously. Yeah, so I guess it kind of compensates if it doesn't find stuff. Alright, that's just a lightning, not too interesting. Well, first of all, I'd like to make it somehow responsive to the line, because if I make more points, then it will basically not work anymore. And it will change its just its starting and start and end points. And you can do this lightning on mesh just as well, and it should work pretty fine. So to make it more responsive, so I don't need to adjust, I will do a group expression, and here's where the magic happens. So this is labs, and I'll call it this qlib start end, because what external notepacks give us is not just notepacks, it's actually also the like expressions and menus in other nodes. For example, this is a standard Houdini node, but thanks to qlib I have some pre-made expressions saved in here, so I don't need to remember them. I can just choose one of these, and these are very useful ones, curve endpoints and start point endpoint. So this is exactly what I need, so I will do curve start point, and you can see this very handy expression like vertex prim num is of 0 at vertex num equals to 0, and that's good. We can also add some begin and end points here. I wonder how would that work. So I will make it like that. Hmm. Okay, and one more group that I want to do is make a plus, call it end, and make it curve endpoint. Have a start and end. So this one I would do from start to end, and now no matter what I do with this, it will always stay consistent with our start and end points. Okay, so lightning. What can we do with lightning? I would certainly try to do a attribute noise on our input geometry to make it just a little more lightning-like. So like this, make it 0 centered. And as you can see, when I noise this curve, our lightning becomes, well, more interesting, which is good. And I would like this element size to be bigger. Okay, right now it's not animated. Let's see this. Distance from the model. This is a little weird. I don't know exactly what it... Okay, this is what it does. And we don't even need to... I thought about using a carve sub, but it appears that we just need to animate this length until end. And it will work all the same, which is cool. And we can also add this push end to make these tendrils of lightning at the end of it. I guess this is maybe too much. I would do this 4. Okay, this is locked. Curve sections. Let's see points. So if I decrease this number, then it gets basically just more and more dense. So I'll do it 0.85. Beam thickness could be a little more. Let's hide the points. Okay, but right now we have it in a way that I would like to change this one to start and the other one to end. Because, yeah, I want my lightning to strike from the top to the ground. So that is changed effectively. Very good. This noise, I will play with this for hours. It's very interesting what it does to the lightning. I will make it actually animate and see what happens. And this distance is pretty small. So that's cool. And let's see and animate this over I think half a second is still too long for a lightning. The other way around. Okay, so 0, this is 1, and let's make full of it at 120. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's still really slow, but maybe we can just play it back faster. This changes amount of arcs that we are working with, and this can change the way they are distributed. I would really like a way for this node to also make secondary lightning offshoots, which is pretty cool, but it requires some more work to get it right. But let's say I'll do it by 3 and just do it like this. Very simple, just lightning and then bam, disappear. So that's one thing. So we are using qlib, which is this pack, and it has just tons upon tons of useful stuff. There, many of these nodes are just like almost kind of regular nodes, but then they are a little different. For example, peak. We have just a peak sub, but it gives you some additional options. We have qlib waypoint, whatever that is. This is like some kind of a split with file cache thing, which is very interesting. I haven't used it yet. So points deform capture, point jitter. Maybe let's use this point jitter, why not, on this input. Our lighting curves get even more funky, super cool. So this is very jittered by now. But it would seem that our okay, so I guess this node is really made to make the lightning along meshes. It's not really supposed to work with a line. Well, let's stick with that for now. So this will not be needed. Let's see what we have in the qlib yet again. Point mix. So I have some subnetwork inputs. So if I would do a line, another one, I would do this input and this input, and I want to mix these two. What happens? Nothing yet. Attributes to mix is position. Weight is control attribute is weight. So let's give this one 48 points as well. And I will attribute create this weight. If it's needed, then why not? Or even attribute noise. Add noise. And let's call it weight. Weight vector. No, it's probably a float. Here. And let's make it a little longer so that I can see it better. And see what this point mix can do. So, on the second input. So it just kind of merges them in a way, but this weight is needed. Okay, let's do it. Add adjust float, make it weight, say this is 1, and disable this. Will this be better? So now when it goes to 1, you can blend between two geos, like This is basically what I did last time with just with VOPs. So many of these things are really just pre-made for you to be easier. So if I knew about this node, then maybe I would have used it. So we have path deform, path curve, geometry deform. So maybe I will try and deform uh, my lightning by the original path. What does it do? It deforms it really well. What if I would do Tommy? Tommy. I want to deform Tommy by this curve. So this is curious. You can resample the initial curve and, well, just make Tommy go along it, basically. Resize by segment length. Oh my, this is this is atrocious, but yeah. You can do stuff with it. I think this is more for like animating a bullet on a path or something like that. So that's not. Well, we have mountain. There used to be a mountain node, so maybe I will mountain my final result. And there is a visualizer it, which is nice. By default, you can see what your noise is doing to the actual geometry. And that's cool. Whether it's rough or not, how high, you know, just a bunch of amazing nodes. So that would be it for QLib. As you can see, there is many of these things here, and it's not only that, but if you, for example, these expressions here, you're getting from QLib, and then when you do attribute wrangle, and then see this, oh, they're like from Houdini, from A-lib, some like scaled bullet objects, X, Y, this, prem UV. This is a super useful vex code expression snippet. One from Dash for randomizing color, sweeping, group profile slides. Dash is this super useful pack for VOPs, and it really does a lot, but it's kind of more advanced. You need to understand like how to use arrays and stuff, but I think at some point it will be very useful to me when I understand what does it do exactly. And then some expressions from QLib. For example, you can number nearby points. You can snap to STF boundary, which would be good for sure. Yeah, so that's basically, maybe we can get some on VOP, attribute VOP, and then labs. We have some labs nodes. These are my presets, but yeah. And in here we also have some QLib stuff like desaturate, mountain deformer. So we get also some stuff in VAPs, super ellipse, and solarize, whatever that is. Super ellipse. So we just need some UVs, a vector of UV. Well, let's see what this will do. I'm curious now. So we just have a line and a mount. Alright. Add position. We'll add the super ellipse. Black point, white point. We really need to read the documentation to like understand what these things do. But oftentimes, super ellipse, they actually have very detailed help cards. Let's see if this one does. But QL and AElib, mobs, these are all like extensions that are very well made, and they always get help cards. So generates a super ellipse shape in a UV space. Maybe I do need some. Well, it's not too specified. What does it do? Some node packs get better help cards, some get more basic ones. But it's just oftentimes like nice to play with these things. I just love to have like other options. I have so many times working in a project and then I was like looking for some kind of node. For example, like I don't know, I would like to bend something or whatever, and then I write bend, and there is uh, no node from Houdini, but there is one from Dash, for example, and this one can actually bend a curve with VOPs, and it has a lot of controls, as you can see. But yeah, this is basically bend deformer with in subs, but with VOPs. And there is for sure endless possibilities for this thing. But let's try and stay on point. So I'll just go forward and use this mountain deformer QL. What does it do? This envelope. This is basically a scale for how much it applies the mountain, which is alright. I would like this to be positive. Small but positive. Fractal depth could be go up, and this time I'd actually like to make it positive, the values. So maybe I can dive inside and see how it's built. So you're doing a bound, do mountain guide out, do mountain main. So there is this fix builder, and it has some interesting stuff. Of up, do mountain. So you can always dive in and have a look how it's built. If you ever want to like edit stuff inside, then you need to allow editing of contents, and then you will be able to move stuff in here and like basically mess with it. And whenever you like cease to want to do it, then you do merge current definition, but it will destroy all the stuff that you changed because it's matching the current definition. If you want to save what you made, then you need to save it as another digital asset or something like that. So lightning is here, it hits somewhat. Is this visualizer saved somehow? I don't think I want to disable this. Alright, boom, boom. It's okay for now. So Gaussian Splats is also G-subs by David Rhodes, I believe. This is some very interesting stuff about, I don't even like properly understand what Gaussian Splats are at this moment, but yeah, there is a pack to manage them in Houdini. I think this is like alternate photogrammetry kind of thing. Oh, we have super ellipse in here as well. Let's see what this do. So it basically makes a circle, but you can also make it like this. Curve, center, exponent. Okay, so this is for making squircles. Wow, this is super useful actually. And Bezier curve. Right, I'm messing these nodes very much, so I'll save. Alpha Tools is this pack from Luke Van, and there are also some interesting stuff. For example, unshared edges, which I should have done like years ago. This as a digital asset. It just makes a group. We won't see it now, but it just basically just selects all of the outside edges of a mesh. If you have a grid, for example, it will select everything around it. What else? What else? Polygon clip by bounds QL. So we can pop a bounding box and then clip geometry to it. Useful. What else is here? I have this package called B. I just downloaded it. It doesn't look like there is too much stuff in it, but yeah, I was like, okay, why not? Let's try it. And alib is just amazing. This thing, really. There is so much useful stuff in this one in particular. These are the biggest one. Qlib and alib are basically the biggest ones that I have. I think I will be kind of talking them through in my next tutorial. Yeah, let's make a polyhedron. What does this do? A polyhedron, stuff, some drop downs for some funky geometries. But what about our mountain? Okay, so this lightning is pretty huge compared to this ground. So I will try and make this smaller, maybe by 5. This can be twice as much of these. There can be. Okay, point reader just 0.6. This one like that, like that. Very good. Endpoints, lightning, and we have it. This is still a little. Let's maybe make this 30 by 30. So, what I'd like to do is to make a simple animation that when the lightning hits the ground, lightning, please hit the ground, boom, at frame 12. I would like it to send a wave, like a shockwave, along this ground geometry, but it will not be like a realistic shockwave, it will be like a shockwave of rising tiles. And I will use mobs for that. So let's do another geometry. And this will be ground animated, let's say, and in this one I will do obj merge and pick this this grid. I should not be picking a grid as a grid, so I'll do a null in here and call it outground, just so it's more future proof. And a ground. Good. So this ground I want for sure to do labs. What was it called? There was a node in labs. We have three tools in labs. We have some UV unwraps, labs group by attribute, group measure, stuff for ZBrush, super formula shapes, wow. But what I'm looking for, snow buildup, sine wave, we have bake-in maps, poly slice, sci-fi panels. Let's do sci-fi panels for now. And this node is good, but it will not work because it needs UVs. Okay, it made some UVs by itself, which is okay, but it probably errors out. Does root force removed shard small dot details deleted. Okay. So this basically subdivides a plane in these semi-random shapes. We can also create some various effects in here, like make some more details for these. Spacing variation. Alright, maybe let's not do it. Notches. 50%. Notches are these indents, which are, I guess, super nice. But I would like it to maybe not delete them. So, corner bevel chance. We can get some corner bevels in here. Hmm. This is all good, but I want it to deletion to 0. Yeah, I want all of these. So, and I also want border thickness of 0. I don't need a border thickness for this one. So, something like that. Let's do exploded view, just so I can see them a little better. Yeah, because so I want the lightning to hit this tile pattern, and then they will rise up and then fall down in a wave-like shape. But I want these shapes to be even more interestingly shaped, so I will do for each connected piece, I think maybe will work. So this piece, let's do another sci-fi panels, eh? What would you then do then? We'll throw an error because it's too small. Because it's too small. Minimum lot size. Do 01. Irregularity. Vertical bias. Everything is getting deleted, I think. Let's do these two regular values. See if I run this loop, will it work? No, it won't. We have something. Okay, run a single pass. And let's hide these for now. Alright. Number of clusters, smaller, vertical packing. Vertex colors. Okay, now you don't throw errors, but you still don't work, which is kinda bad. There's also another node that is probably used within this node. It is called LUT subdivision. This one is also interesting. It does similar things, but it's a little simpler. So I would do minimum lot size of 0.5 iterations. You can see how it works. Random seed, yeah. Irregularity, can it go beyond? Yeah, but it doesn't change anything. And then cluster lots will actually merge some of them back together so they did make some more interesting shapes. But it also can somewhat mess with the normals, so I would do normal yeah, okay. Whoa, that's awkward. This is another node pack that is super interesting, although probably super specific also. It's called Houdini Music Toolset, and it is used for making music within Houdini, using Houdini as a MIDI device. Which is crazy, but super creative. I love it. That's why I have it. So I always wanted to get into that node, that toolset, but I haven't really been able to because it's somewhat complicated. But well, you can if you want. I don't think these are normal problems. So the problems is probably that the geometry is starting to intersect. Exploded view again. Yes. So these are some interior geometries hard. I'll do maybe number of clusters is 13. And delete this. Let's try and run it on all of the primitives. You can see that this one is much faster. I will disable the clustering because I don't think I need it. And these are all already like not flat, so I'd like to probably change that as well. Let's do thickness of 0. So they are absolutely flat. And then a reverse. So I don't want this, I'm just doing this so I don't have these super straight just polygons, that they are a little off, let's say. So I'll do poly extrude first so I can see what happens. And let's say that this is maybe 1. Alright. And with this so we want to make a attribute called z-scale on primitives so that we can use this piece in here. And that z-scale, let's just do attribute adjust float and run it on primitives. And this will be z scale and make it a value of maybe a line from 0 to 1. And then this will look like that. So what if I do radial? This should be 1 probably. No, this would be 10 because the grid is 10. And it should be 3 to 0. And now you can see what's happening. So the question is, are these pieces irregular enough? Hmm. I have seen a node that I like to see what it does within dash actually, and here let's run it on primitives. So dash transform 1D, because there is such a node now. You can see dash, there is some array stuff, build array IDs, some mathematics, like you can do dot products, cross products. This node pact is very dear to me. I like it very much, even though I like haven't been able to use it that much. But just the thought that someone just like spent his time to create this for us makes me like warm in on the heart. So yeah, we have some array sorting, array resizing, and I want to try this 1D transform. So what it does is we can do bind our z-scale in here, say z-scale, and put it here into the value, and bind export it back as a z-scale as well. It also has some very nice ways of importing attributes, much more straightforward and like well designed, because there was quite a lot of design by the author ProBiner to make it like smart, kind of, that when you pick an attribute it also like picks up what level this attribute is, like, or what kind, is it primitives, if it point. Alright, but what I tried to try is what happens if I'll scale this attribute. Boom, alright. And what if I transform it? It goes either up or down. Okay, so this kind of movement. So this transform windy is, you can see what it's doing. Oh, that's interesting. We have a translation here. If I invert it, yes, reflect it to low. Okay. I wanted to make it expand outwards, but that would probably take some kind of a length operation. Length of position, put it here. And let's make it just back to some, yeah, so at here it's 0, here it's 10. So let's maybe scale it by 0.1, so it's some 0 to 1, or from almost 0 to 1, I suppose. I don't really know what this project does. Right. But I wanted to translate it like that, and maybe multiply it with the z-scale that we have. So let's do this, and then this into this. Alright, that's just an off topic that I wanted to try. So I'll delete it for now because we need to find some other way to send a. This is also just a preview. I want to send a wave from 0 to outwards basically along these points with this attribute, and there are a few ways that I could achieve that. I could use a ripple solver, I could animate a ramp, I could do like length of position, but let's see if mobs have something that could help me with that. But to actually start playing with mobs, I need to change all of these points, all of this stuff that we have here into packed primitives. So let's do assemble, maybe, and do create packed primitives. And it doesn't work. Okay, don't do name. Okay, so name, or maybe assemble in here, because wait, you do connectivity. On prims. Maybe we should do a name. That's too bad. Name needs to stay consistent. Oh, this shouldn't be too hard. So if I create packed primitives, nothing will change. Let's see the geometry spreadsheet. We have here a class, and they don't really have names, do they? No. So I'll just make it like this. So take this connectivity, put it here, and then do assemble, make it packed primitives, and create names. And maybe change this to grid piece. Why are you creating these things? Create packed primitives and create names. But where are they? Are only 5 names or so. 52 names. Oh, connectivity of point class maybe. Assemble attributes, piece attribute, use class. Okay, bad. Primitive. Like more like a 2,500 or so. Maybe like a quarter of it. Problems. cut edge. Is this because the attribute cluster? I would attribute delete cluster and cut edge. No. Connectivity, or maybe pack. Maybe pack would work better instead of assembling it. You want to do name, or maybe connectivity here, so that you do this one, single pass, this, you do this, cluster, class 0 to 0. Why? That's odd. Connectivity shouldn't fail me like this. Like, what is wrong? Need some proper naming in here. So let's just do name, or name, groups from name, name from groups, name. So you just name them, all of them, ground piece. Name from group. No. Jeez. Assemble. Please. Stop joking. Create name attribute. It's here, and we have 52 pieces. Okay. Then we do loud subdivision, and our name is essentially deleted by this node. But we have cluster. Assemble these, and they are all prim 0. I wonder how this works. Do I need to do a facet? Yeah, I think this is the problem. Unique points. And then, yeah, okay. Because this node only subdivides a polygon. It doesn't actually break it apart into multiple polygons. So that's our main problem. And with this, now we need to uncheck it, put it here, and do our whole setup. And now this one, pack them. Okay. And delete this, attribute, I can leave them. And now the poly extrude works. packed prims. That's odd. Hmm. I didn't think it would work on packed prims, but let's see. If we have packed primitives, let's start with mobs. Mobs, fall off. We have audio. You can guess what it does. Noise, object, plane, remap, shape, spline, spread, and texture. Maybe spread would be something that I want. Let's see, preview it. Okay. Okay. So blend strength from 0 to 1, blend mode, start point group. Let's do a group. And it will be, let's say, points, bounding region, bounding box. In the very middle, and here I'd say group 1, start points mode, point cloud, attribute, group mask. Okay, animated radius. We need to look at this attribute. Mobs fall off, 0 everywhere. Okay. Maybe the box should be somewhat bigger. Some points are outside the search radius of any nearby points. Search radius. Display as sprites is usually interesting because previewing packed stuff is very tedious. Well, nothing is happening really. Search radius, make it 5. Max connections. Does it need to be connected? Oh. Yeah, so spread, important one. Can control the fall off. Boom. Okay. But we actually need cost. I don't think we need cost, but if I would set at noise on these of primitives, I believe. No, right now they are packed, so it doesn't matter. Of cost, and you can see something happened with our spread. Let's make it bigger and scale the sprites also. So now it takes some figurative cost to make some values to change into white, so it doesn't just turn them uniformly, it scales from the center, but it's not uniform by all means. So spread, yeah, this one is super nice. I usually used to do mobs shape and just make a sphere inside of it and scale it. So this one, just like that, it's also preview, slides, this thing, and just control it like that. I was basically just scaling the sphere and hoping it will like at some point make it big enough to envelop everything. But this spread is even better, to be honest. Radius. Well, connectivity won't work because they ain't connected. So let's see. But another thing I need to do in here is make it basically let's disable cast for now and see what noise can do. So similar stuff, but with using noise. And we can time vary it. So it goes like that. Well, one way of creating a wave pattern with this would be to create another one, time offset it, and subtract one from the other. Oh, maybe I should try it actually. So mobs fall off is a recognized mobs attribute that you probably might want to use. So I would do another one of these, spread, and here, and this second one, do subtract, and select the first group of points. So this one is at 0.6, then this one can be at 0.4. And does it work? Yeah. So now if I animate these parameters, the spread, boom. So I would animate this and make maybe copy parameter, second one, let's make this one. This copy parameter, this here, place it, relative reference, make it here, here, plus 0.15 or so, and now I can make a wave from here. This is a decent enough wave, it could work. If animated. So it gives us a ton of control for just controlling these packed primitives. So what do we use this attribute for? We use it for creating mobs. Let's see here. We have falloffs. So these are for basically just adjusting falloff values. Let's go to a value where we can actually see some falloff. Like here. And then this transform will probably do something. Transform falloff. I was thinking it would. It probably does, but we are looking at. Yeah, this. Okay. So from now on, to actually view what is happening, let's do mobs transform. But not transform falloff, transform modifier. This one is super nice and easy to use. So all of these pieces, I was thinking about using this poly extrude, but at this point, let's just settle for scaling them. So let's do thickness of 0.05, and they are here. Lob subdivision still works, I think. So now I will translate them up like 0.3, and this mobs transform is only applied to the pieces that, according to their mobs attribute fall of value. So if I would scale them to 0, then you can see that these ones are being zeroed out. And if I move our parameter, this goes boom. Disable the previews, make it black, close it, and let's see. So every single one of these pieces is getting this transform. So I'm saying make them 0. So wherever this mobs fall off at the center, it's scaled by this mobs fall off. So yeah, boom. And we need to adjust the wave to do what we want. But I guess I'd like to do, yeah, and it's also moving them up. Yeah. This is taking an hour now, so let's see what we can do with this. I don't actually want them to be scaled to 0. This is like too easy. But I can do 180 on X maybe. And look at that. Once this moves, it goes boom. Everyone gets transformed and it's super smooth. This is like MoGraph wet dream basically. There was some interesting display sprites. Wire over packed geometry. This is actually useful. Now we can see better what's happening. So there is noise and there is this spread value. So let's bind it from frame 12 to frame 48. Make it 1. Make it 1.4. Cool. And let's just cut this yet again to 40 or maybe 60. Okay, so I did not change it properly. Oh, that's weird. Animation editor? What are you doing? Let's delete it and try again. This one, Alt, this one, Alt, 1.4. Yeah, more like it. So it goes boom. and it's also noised. Apply noise. We can apply the noise twice on this one and that one, and make them different. So basically every single transform that is on this, or like rather this, and this thing can also control it somehow, I thought. Okay, let's not bother with this for now. And let's not overdo the noise, because it's very easy to overdo mobs, I think. I'll do 0.4 on this. And it would be cool to do another one of maybe 180 here. So they have diagonal rotation. And so you can basically stack these changes however you like, and it's crazy fast because these are packed primitives, remember. So initially I just wanted to move them up, so it would go like boom 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 boom, and these pieces could be extruded down, so it would look like they are extruded down. Extrude here, maybe even here, boom, or like 2, assemble, everyone's packed, everyone gets a, and maybe instead of doing this, I will do, because they are like that, so let's do this to 0, and there is this frame, which is kind of annoying, but here I will do, well, how would that look distance now? Pretty solid. So 2, pack them, group them, spread them, make a fall off, and then move them up. So now if I don't preview that, make a camera somewhere here, then they are just boom 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 boom. And this by itself is cool enough. I'll disable noises for now. If I need noises, then I will reapply them later. Boom. Boom. Okay, so I'd like to add noise, but let's do mobs noise modifier by itself. So I have these two yet again, and even one called noise patterns. See what each of them does. Mobs noise modifier. So I think modifier is just like this one, but this one can use noises to do stuff. So okay, so we are basically running a noise over position right now. And you can even advect it, whatever that means. Wow, that is a cool effect. They are just slightly offsetting each other. 3. And there is a dop sim in this, like Boom. Yeah, so this is basically power of mobs. You can just keep on just having fun. Okay, but because of this advection, it doesn't actually go back to zero with fall off. So that's not what I like. And we can have an effect like this one, that they are boom, 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 boom. Everyone is getting a transform. And this thing used to be crazy difficult, like complicated, I guess. But Henry Foster, who made mobs, was like, nah man, this ain't gonna be like that. I will make it simpler, and that's why we have mobs. So, eternal thanks to Henry and Moritz from Entagma. I believe he also worked on mobs. So yeah, crazy smart people created this for us. So why not use it? Yeah, and you can just art direct this effect forever. Just, wow, maybe this. I am also kind of into just changing this mob spread to just be a ripple. I don't know if it will work on this geometry. Speed, nerfs, random up. Okay, actually, if we are using mobs, then let's just use mobs. Noise fall off. Let's add yet another one. Yeah, it's sometimes difficult to see what you're doing. That's why we have this preview fall offs. Okay, so I want this to multiply. Yeah. And with this noise modifier, let's disable the preview. And don't affect rotation and don't affect scale, just affect position, amount. Okay, but can't I just make it move in one direction? One position amount? Oh, I just need to probably change these to 0. Yes. So, boom, 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 boom. Crazy nice. Boom. And you can actually loop the noise. That's crazy amount of control within mobs. So we have a noise on top of a noise fall off and two other fall offs. So you have to like keep in your mind what do your actual modifier do and what do the fall off, what does the fall off. Let's see some more mobs. So maybe mobs, mobs, generators, explode, instancer. Instancer is cool. Subdivider. This smells like a crash, so I would use a grid. Maybe grid this time. Okay. Should it be packed? No way. That's good. Yeah, I need to read what this one does. Instancer is super useful. Mobs instancer, you can do crazy stuff with it. You can assign your instances in various ways. You can drop an arbitrary amount of geometries to use them all as inputs, as like pieces to control. And these modifiers are here. We could do delay. What does delay do? Delay in seconds. Use fall off, correct rotation, solver settings. So let's try and see this, because this looks like useful thing. Delays upstream transformation on objects. Delays changes to attributes upstream based on value of add fall off. Do sequence delay. Let's do 4 so we can see it. So oh, this is interesting because this timeline doesn't even have 24 frames. So up until this point it doesn't really change much, but the noise value are also here. They're doing stuff. Boom, 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 boom. So cool. Yeah, I can do all sorts of stuff, and it always looks good. But I wanted to use this on mobs, generators. Mobs aim is one also super useful. Up target and aim target. So we can take all of these and yeah, currently they are aiming toward one specific vector, which is actually happens to be, I think, aim at objects, aim vector, add object, show aim guide. Oh, can't see the guide. Aim up, invert aim, invert up. Oh, constrain around up. Looks good. Up. Use attribute of up. Yeah, so this can do super interesting stuff. Boom. This aim is probably 0. Aim at points. Okay, it probably needs input for that one. So let's see what we have more in these modifiers. Move along mesh, move along spline. would I use this as mesh? What would happen then? No orient or an attribute. Alright. This one is probably super useful. But let's see something simpler for now. Pivot, randomize, relax. This will probably blur them a little, or not. Max iterations. Okay, so this one is if you have some kind of, I think, what's it called? Intersecting geometry, then this would probably make it relax. But this really messes up my geometry for now, so I don't think I'm gonna use it. You can stick them to surface, but again. Okay, maps randomize. So this is basically similar to noise, but it will randomize position between 0 and maybe 1. So let's delete the first one and just use the second one whenever there is fall off. So just bum 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 bum. Like that. We can also randomize orientation. Randomize scale. Randomize what's there. Uniform scale, because scale can be different in even randomized color. Add, let's do set. Still nothing? Or is it just that I can't see because they are packed? Yeah, exactly. So to see the color you need to unpack geometry. Now it's a little slower, but not that much. Depends on how much stuff you throw onto it. And you can totally choose the hue range. It just goes 0 to 1 or like 0 to 0.4. So the colors will be more consistent, I hope. And value range maybe from 0 to 1 and saturation range also from 0 to 1, so we don't bother with negatives. And yeah, looks pretty cool. And connect that with attribute adjust color and you have yourself a beast of color management stuff. Spring modifier is also very cool because it can basically take any movement that is happening within our simulation and just make it a spring, which is, let's look, maybe it will be available. Oh yeah, so it takes whatever happens to the geometry and like tries to animate it as a spring, so it like offshoots and then go back and then go back and then go back until it is, if I would do this damping coefficient lower or maybe higher, okay, did I break it? Let's see. Okay, so let's do this to 1. I wanted to move just as the initial one moves. I would just like to make it go back to 0 quicker. Like maybe do 1 or 2 springs and then go back. Jeez. Okay. Boom. Nah, this is the strength of our spring. Sequence time. We can basically spring also time. I've used this one before and it's super useful. Tools is basically just very useful things from mobs, but they are like pre-made to create your own mobs tools, if you like, that kind of thing. But right now I think there will be too much. So yeah, these are most of the nodes that I wanted to show. So just to wrap this up, I'll just remind we have qlib, useful stuff everywhere, expressions, vex, everything, vops, basically just a beast of a package, dash, useful vop, vops stuff, aalib, absolutely amazing, especially these solvers, they can do incredible stuff. Modification, some simple array like calculations, hide fields, whatever you want. Importing SVGs into Houdini, always welcome. Some like quality of life things. Deforming, doing mandalas out of your geometries, doing 4D calculations. Yeah, I also have this for X4D package. This one is by user, his name is I don't know, but he makes amazing stuff for Houdini. It was for Xapco he or something like that. Yeah, I also got a trebuchet from Houdini Technical Artist Challenge, and I will link all of these stuff in my next tutorial. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. What do you want more in this life? You have a procedural Houdini trebuchet, just like that, and it actually works. This is really amazing, and you can quite precisely aim this thing. So yeah, I will be posting more stuff on finding your own node packs and tools like this one in my next tutorial. There will be some information on that. But for now, I think I'll be wrapping this up. I just want to mention this SDF modeler. This is also a very interesting pack. I need to read the documentation on it to know how to actually model something with this, but it seems pretty amazing. So yeah. Let's say that this is it for today. I know I didn't do too much, but today's stream was about just showing the possibilities of external nodes and why you might want to have them, which I recommend. It doesn't cost money. They are all free packs that I mentioned, every single one of them. Mops actually has a Mops Plus, which is a paid extension, and it has even more cool, crazy stuff. So I totally recommend you get that if you have the budget for it. And Houdini Music Tools, as I mentioned, by Andrew Lowell, is like, you just have to look it up because I can't even comprehend what is happening in this pack. You basically use Houdini as a MIDI uh, device and plug it up to your music program like Ableton or what it called, Cakewalk, and then just make your literal geometry create sounds in real time. And that's yeah, a lot. So did I forget a package? LV tools. Yeah, I mean, like, why not? Why not get a package if you can? I don't think this has any downsides. I need to look up what these do. Yeah. So, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time. I encourage you to follow my channel and subscribe, like, and comment what you like, what you didn't like, and I'll see you guys next time.